Hey, it's Jag, and I've entered the Great Guitar Build-Off.
Yeah.
We'll start with the material selection for the body. I've got some really nice ash. I like ash guitars. They feel good to me. I like a little bit of a weightier guitar. I've got to joint this. I don't have a jointer. Obviously, I have a saw stop contractor saw, and I have jointed things on this saw before, and it worked out very well. I will be putting a flame maple cap on top, but on the back, I still think it should look good. So if I turn this over, I just like the way the grain of the wood looks on the back and the way these rings will come out at the sides. So I think it'll have an interesting look on the back, and I'll have that flame maple top. There's some quite nice figuring on it, especially right down here. And the flame is really nice and a little more pronounced. I'm not too confident in my ability to build a neck. I think I could pull it off. This is a piece that I laminated. I had these two pieces of maple and this ash. I really like the way the ash, the figuring stripes through here. As far as fingerboards, this is long enough for sure to make two fingerboards. So in terms of the design of the guitar, it's based on a guitar I reshaped. I call this guitar the Mutt. This is the shape I'm going for. So still roughly Telecaster-ish. It's a little bit narrower, a little bit smaller. Hardware is a little bit up in the air right now. I don't have to make that decision right now. So I haven't decided 100% on the hardware. I will be going with a single volume control. A single tone control. I may decide to do sort of the Nashville Supercaster kind of thing with a humbucker and two single coils. We'll see how that goes over time. I do have a template that I have made for that guitar. The neck heel will be probably sculpted. I also want to put an arm carve on it and a belly carve. I like Telecasters a lot, but I don't like the blockiness. The other thing that I'll show you is what I'm planning to do with setting the neck in. This guitar, when I got it, immediately felt so awesome to play, and especially high up. I started wondering why. I took a look at it, and what it is it's the neck joint. It joins at about the 17th fret. Most Fender styles join at about the 16th fret. So it's shifted back just a little bit, and it just makes it really easy to play up here. I don't even notice the heel. So my guitar will be set so that basically the heel ends at about the 17th fret. I'm shooting for the blanks to be about 1.9 inches thick, so that the final guitar about 1 3/4, maybe a hair more or a hair less. Well, like I said in the intro video, I don't have a jointer. I'm going to joint on the table saw. I'm going to have a few challenges with those tops. They're all cupped just a little bit, and I'm going to learn how to uncup the tops. You might get lighted on fire. This one is cupped quite a bit. You can see the crown is at the top on this one. On the right side piece, same thing. So we'll get the heat gun out and we will see what we can do about flattening these. Definitely hoping not to get lighted on fire. The thinner pair, which was very cupped, is close to perfectly flat right now. So I will joint them. And we're going to do glue up.
Just say yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Let's say yes.
It's looking good. That's the tops, glued up and ready to go on the body blank. I could really go for a bag of chips right now. Salt, vinegar, cracked pepper, and sea salt. What do you think? So I'm going to get to the actual work now today, which is going to be sanding the blanks and tops and gluing them together. I'm not sanding the face of the blanks until we have it all glued up, and we're doing all the work on the guitar. There's no need to sand it right now. These are fitting really well. The blanks are about 1.5 or 1.75 inches too wide. My guitar is only 12 inches wide, so the only thing I have to be careful about is I've got this little gap up here. First thing I need to do is line up the top and then drill locating pins.
Keep an open heart so you can tell when sinners really sinning out the Lord you've known so well.
Well, yeah, so used all of my clamps for that. We're gonna rough cut these, and then we'll see how the new router table wing works.
Just say yes. Yes. Yeah.
One chip right here where the arm carve is going to be, and also it's still a little rough up here. I'm intending to do some carving here. Your turn. What? I'm going to start working on the necks today. The first thing I need to do is thickness these close to the final thickness that I need. This blank is kind of a beast. It's 1.5 inches thick, and this actually wasn't ever intended to be a neck. I was thinking about building a lap steel, and it turned out that this was a little too short for the scale length I wanted. So this sat around in my garage for about 6 or 7 years, and it's absolutely stable. The ash in the middle, the grain goes horizontal. It gives me this really interesting figuring. I really like the look of that. I don't think I'm going to have too many issues with that. We're going to thickness both of these down to just over 13/16 of an inch. I did check with my calipers, and they're 0.82, 0.83 inches, a little bit over 13/16. I've got a little wiggle room there. I've got my winding sticks on there. It's bang on. I will route the truss rod channel before I do anything else on here. I'm going to measure and mark the center line, and then get set up to router that channel. The truss rod is flush with the face. I will chisel out these ends at the start of the next video. Hey, it's Jag. And how didn't I know about this tool sooner? Thicknessing the headstock has been a concern to me. I ordered one of the Ryoba saws. I did a test cut with it. It worked great, so straight. It followed my line really well, and it would just be some sanding, and this is going to look great. After I did my last video, I chiseled out the round stops at either end of the truss rod channel. I can hold the blank upside down, shake it, and it doesn't fall out. Now I'm ready to start doing some of the prep for the fingerboard. I want to take this fingerboard down to about 6 mil, so that will give me a total thickness of about 27-ish mil, and then by the time I sand everything, I should be down pretty close to 25.5 mil or an inch thick on the final neck. I've got it set up in my fret slotting miter. Once I get this slotted, I want to get the neck blanks shaped.
Black Frank, he's your man. Not living loose for pennies on a pension. No fear if you flow with his plan. Let him score the supercalifragilistic. Intention, Black Frank. He's gonna consecrate your mind. Never underestimate the ability.
Today I continue working on the neck. What I'm going to do is thickness the headstock, and I'm going to drill the locating pins for the fingerboard. I won't glue it on right away. I'm going to radius it before I glue it on. Now, I don't have the tuning machines here that I'm going to put on these two guitars. They're vintage style with staggered posts. Hopefully I won't have to use string trees on this. When you've tightened them as tight as you can, It's about 11.5 mil thick here, so you wouldn't want to go down to that thin on your headstock. At their maximum is about 17 millimeters. 14 to 15 millimeters seems to be about the standard thickness for that style of a headstock. I'm at about 14 and a half. By the time I'm done sanding this down, I'll still be at 14-ish. That saw definitely worked out well. So the next thing I need to do is center the fingerboard on the blank, drill the locating pins. I'm going to radius it before I glue it on. And at that point, I'll be ready to do the thickness sanding and do this transition.
And they misunderstood the misunderstanding. Now it's combusted. They say his tan is.
That's the locating pins done. I'm going to take the fingerboard off and get set up to radius.
Nothing's what it is. Black Frank, sanctify me, come on. Hanging on my holy fire.
There's the radius. Hey, it's Jag. And today I'm going to glue up the fingerboard, drill the truss rod access, and sand the fingerboard transition and headstock. It says here they have new proof that the moon landing was faked. I could have glued the fingerboard to the blank before I cut and shaped it and everything. There are a couple of reasons why I didn't do that. I didn't want to put the truss rod in, glue the fingerboard blank on, and then drill the access hole and risk maybe damaging the end of the truss rod. The other thing is with this overhang, I could have, I suppose, made this easier by leaving my neck blanks a little longer and then routed the heel after the fact like they did on the one for the mutt. But I didn't want to leave a little bit of extra maple underneath, and I also didn't want to route into the fingerboard a little bit to get that clean. That's why I did this way. So that's my plan for the fingerboard. What I'm going to do first, though, is deal with the truss rod access. I'm going to extend the top part of the channel. I will use this rat tail file to round the bottom of the channel. When I glue the fingerboard on, the transition should sculpt for the access hole. Once the glue is cured, I'll come back to this and I will sand the face of the headstock and this fingerboard transition. I want to do this transition and get the face of the headstock smooth. I'm really, really happy with how that's looking. I have my little Ryobi laser level, and I have lined the neck and the body up. You can get a pretty good idea of what's going on with that. Everything's lined up well. I'm ready to double stick tape the template down and route the neck pocket. I'm going to go not quite to 11/16 deep. When everything's ready to go together, I'll sneak up on that depth.
We say no borders flood the gates. People caught by a free will that's taught in a net of fabricated.
The neck pocket is done.
Illusions and ongoing blood. Compassion, take us to the flow. Running fast, fast. What matters at last is done. So take it slow. You can hold it down or take us back to a place where the priest cried out as the gods fell from grace. When a heart is full, like an ocean of wine, you can't hold it down.
My scale length is standard Fender. Place the bridge so that the midpoint of the saddle is on the scale length line. I'm going to adjust these saddles so that they're in the mid-range of their travel. And then I'm going to put some tape around the edges here and mark that. And then I will line that bridge up on those lines so that we're lined up perfectly this way. I'm also going to use some tape and draw a center line of this bridge this way and line it up on my center line. And I can mark for all the holes to drill, plus the holes for the strings. The neck from bottom to top is actually quite thick. It's about 25.5 millimeters. I'm planning on taking it down to about somewhere around 22 and a half thick here. Up at the 12th fret, about 20, maybe 24. A modern C, but I could go a V or maybe even an asymmetrical. I did sand in deliberately a little bit of fall away towards this side of the neck. Not so much that I couldn't sand that out. Like I say, this is a pretty thick neck right now. Being a heavy-handed player, I always have a lot of problems with buzz from my low strings, and I don't have my action very low. So the idea of doing some fall away made sense to me. So there's a little bit. The other thing I want to do, this guitar is pretty darn heavy. So I am going to put this through my planer, and I'm going to take the body down by about 1/8 of an inch. Hopefully that will lighten the final guitar a little bit. Next thing to do is going to be to route the cavities for the pickups. The next thing I want to do is mark for the placement of the toggle switch, the volume, the tone, and the output jack, and route the cavities. I want the toggle first, so I want it roughly in the center of this section of the guitar. That gives me a straight line here, and it also gives me a sort of a semicircle right about here. I could trouble over this all day, but that's what I'm going with.
Or take us back to a place where the priests cried out as their gods fell from grace, where the heart is full like an ocean of wine. You can't hold it down. You're gonna
I've got the control cavity and the lip for its cover. I've got the toggle switch cavity and the lip for its cover. Got the pickups routed, and the hole for the output jack cup. So I think I will route this neck pocket to the final depth. I have settled on taking the neck pocket down by about 2.5 mil. Tempted to go 3 mil, but I don't want to go too far. Disaster has struck. First of all, everything's fine for the GGBO build. We had a flood. By far, the worst part of the damage is my electronics shop. At least insurance is covering this. It's going to probably tie up a lot of my time over the next month or two, which puts a little bit in jeopardy whether I'll actually get the GGBO build done by the end of October like I was hoping. Thought I'd let you guys have a look at the state the electronics shop is in now. The ceiling tiles are coming down. There's a possibility we've got asbestos in here too. So they're going to check for asbestos. They're going to gut this room. And what they aren't going to do, I am going to do. That's the electrical panel. Right there, the water went right through that, and they said that's not really actually a problem. So, okay. As far as equipment and things like that were damaged, my printer is toast. My backup drive enclosure and 3 of the backup drives are toast. That computer wasn't that old. I had a 67 Champ was sitting right under where the flow of water was too. I'll show you a picture of that. And as you can see, the whole front baffle just crumbled and fell apart. Probably can salvage that amp. The chassis was out of the amp, sitting on top of it, and was directly under a shelf, which I think probably acted like an umbrella. Some of the tiles have come up. There weren't tiles here. All of these tiles I could just pick up. It's really messy here. It's split and it's warped. A lot of water managed to pool in there. There's a bulge right there. There's another bulge right here. You can kind of see that bulging out, and there's a massive one right there. Water staining here. Water came down. It's an old panel. I mean, this is a 50-year-old house. It's going to tie into everything I have planned to do, at least for the start of the winter. The biggest victim is the original neck to butch. There's a split there. The fingerboard is starting to delaminate. There's a ridge here. Truss rod is rusted. The neck is warped. So that's a done neck. The skunk stripe is delaminating too, I just noticed. So that is the most sad victim of it. Sad to see it get damaged. Hey, it's Jag. Back at it. My priority right now is to get the body basically done, and then I can concentrate on doing the neck. I'm going to drill the holes for the pickup wires and whatnot. Woohoo! Didn't go through the back of the guitar. Sanding. Lots and lots of sanding. There is some tear out here. There's a couple actual outright chips that I'm going to have to deal with. This grain is so swirly, it's just very rough in a lot of places. I'm really going to have to do a lot of sanding on this, and then I'll start working on the belly and arm carves. I've pretty much sanded out all of the chips. So now I'm on to doing the arm carve and the belly carve.
Hunger and sweat, you're everywhere. You are
I don't know about the rest of it. It's pretty close to the end of October. I don't know if I'll get this done by the deadline, but just to get this far, this body is way, way past my expectations. Front, back. I might have a little bit of finessing to do on it. I need to do some relief carve. This corner will definitely come off, or at least be carved round. I have managed to work it out. I'm going to get 4 days in a row. That will be the GGBO marathon. I still need to carve the neck, install the frets, level crown, all of that. I might not make that before the end of the GGBO. We'll see. Hey, it's Jag. Welcome to the GGBO-a-thon. 4 days in a row to get as much done on my GGBO entry as possible. I've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday dedicated to getting as much done on this build as I can. I'm going to try and do an update video at the end of each of the 4 days. I want to concentrate on working on the guitar. I want to work on the neck today. What I will get done for sure is the dot markers, side markers, and I want to final sand the fingerboard. If I get all of that done, my plan for tomorrow is really the big day. it will be carving the neck. So stick with me. I will be back at the end of the day to update you. Well, that's day one of the GGBO-a-thon down. I did get the dot markers installed and side markers. I needed to do a little bit more sanding on the fretboard. I had deliberately put a little fall away in. Looking at it with a straight edge, it was a little bit too much. So I did some sanding and just took it so that fall away up at the top is not quite as pronounced. There's the fret markers all in. That's the fingerboard sanded and the dot markers in. I'm really happy with the progress on the neck today. Tomorrow I'll start with installing the frets, and then I will get to carving the back of the neck. Butthead forgot to radius the fret wire before he cut it. I thought, well, okay, how bad could it be? I'll flood some thin CA glue and use my fret press and just press them in and hope that works. Nope. The frets kept popping up on the ends. I didn't have enough fret wire to recut it, so I had to use the frets that I cut. I tried a whole bunch of things, spent most of actually the morning and the early part of the afternoon trying to figure out what to do. After thinking about it for a while, I realized, okay, what I'll do is I'll stick this down on the bed of my fret press, and I'll use the fret press like a clamp and then just gently bend it. That gave me a really good radius on the frets, and I was able to use them. They are not leveled or polished. They all look like they're seated very nicely. I got the neck fretted anyway. Tomorrow will be neck carving day. Whatever I get done by the end of the judging deadline, I will have a lot still left to do. Welcome to day 3 of the GGBO-a-thon. I said in my video yesterday that I had made a beveling file, but I've also talked before about how massively allergic I am to pine dust. I had all of my PPE on, I had my air cleaner on, everything. I made literally 3 cuts with the table saw to make this little channel to put the file in, and 1 cut to do the bevel angle. And I could not breathe all night last night, just from this one little piece of pine. Working with pine is banned for me now. Anyway, started to it again late. I am ready to start carving the neck. I don't know how far I'll get on that today. I probably am not going to end up with a playable guitar by the end of tomorrow. So I'm just going to do as much as I can. Honestly, I've been feeling like I was going to rush through some things. I don't want to have to present a guitar as done that's not really done. So I'm going to get on to carving the neck now. Well, I think I'm at another quit while I'm ahead moment. Basically, it's there. I still have to do the transition up to the heel and the transition to the headstock. It's feeling good. I may tomorrow take a little bit more off the cheeks here, almost slight, very soft V shape. I'll do that tomorrow. I will do the transition for the headstock and the heel. I think that's probably how far I'll get. The last 2 days before this, day 1 and day 2, I really felt like I was rushing things and I was doing them just to get the guitar done, and I always said to myself I wouldn't do that. Today I just took my time, back to just enjoying this, which is really why I do it. And I've had an awesome time. That's the end of the GGBO-a-thon day 3. So whatever I get done tomorrow is what's going to be done before the judging deadline. After that, back to my regular working on it the way I work on it. Thanks for sticking with me, and we'll see you all tomorrow. I'm definitely not going to get the guitar completed before the judging deadline. What I am going to do today is some neck and body work. I'm going to start with the neck heel on the body. I think I am going to round it like this, finesse this little transition here, which is a little bit rough. And I need to do that before I can do any more work on the neck. I need to transition the neck heel, and I need to know the shape of this before I do that.
There's the neck heel contour. It's not finished. I'm going to still need to round this over here, but I'd like to get back to the neck. I'm hoping I can get the neck more or less done today.
On the ground, where we forget who we are, just human so far, you can turn it around.
A good day's work to end the 4-day GGB-O-thon. No, I didn't even get close to assembling this guitar, but I am very, very close to having the body and neck finished, so I'm very, very happy with it. So after my super edit, I will be back to finalizing things on the body and the neck. I still need to do the relief carve at the upper cutaway. I need to shape the neck heel on the body and fix up this little curve on the arm carve. And the neck is pretty much there. I need to fine sand everything. I may do a little bit of a soft V in the sides, like I said. What I may do is do the soft V just on the high side and sort of have an asymmetrical sort of shape. Here's where we're at. Here's the neck. It's a really great feeling neck. I got the transition up here done too. Carving is what always kept me from making my own neck. It's my favorite thing. Once I started going, I kind of started seeing how the wood was coming off, and I went, oh, okay, well, that's what we need to do. I didn't mess this up, and I'm amazed about that. The body, the only thing I did was shape the body heel. It's a nice round shape. It'll be even nicer when I round it over. Where I notice things the most is right up here, so it's going to be a fairly wide relief carve. The neck in the body, and the back. I think I got that transition just right there. The neck is now a little bit high, so I am going to have to probably take somewhere between 2 and 4 mils off here. That's where we're at. I'm really happy with the work I've gotten done, and stick with me. I will be finishing this guitar. Like always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Share the video. Until the next video, we'll see you.